March, March, March. March is my birthday month. My birthday month. My birthday month. And I'm so excited about all the books in March that I'm gonna read to celebrate my birthday. So yay. Let's talk about what I'm gonna be reading in March. Welcome back and welcome to my channel. Okay. Let me get some. Oh, this tangle of mess here. Yay, it's March. I'm so excited to share with you guys what I plan to be reading in the month of March. March is my birthday month, so it's extra special to me. And so let's get to checking out my March reads. Hi, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Chantel-LaVonne, and I'm so happy that you are here with me today as I talk to you about what I'm reading in the month of March. And whew, March has been it started quickly. If you listen to my February video, February came and went so fast I couldn't even catch up. And there were books that I intended to read in February that I never finished, or like I don't even think I started one. So I definitely want to read those books because I really am interested in them. So I decided to slide them along into the month of March, add them to my March reads, as well as some other gems that I'm excited to read in the month of March. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you and go through this stack of books. I think these are all the books. All my books came in. And so go with you through the stack of books and what I'm reading. So I'm going to start with the books that I was planning to finish in February that I did not, and then move into the new book. So first up, Butter. This book, you guys, makes me hungry when I read it. I started it about this way through, and oh my gosh, it's so buttery too. Does that make even sense? Like butter is buttery. This novel is written by Asako Yuzuki. Asako Yuzuki. I think I said that right. And it is a novel of food and murder. And when I picked this up, this was like my blind book date. I do this where I'll go in a bookstore and I will just pick up a book and say, "You're coming home with me, and we're going to see if we like each other." And we don't know. So it's kind of like my version of a blind date with a book. And so this was my February blind date book. But as I said, I didn't get to finish it, and not because I didn't enjoy it, just because life got out of hand and it didn't happen. But I truly, truly am enjoying this book. This book, which is actually based on or inspired, I will say, on a real case, is of a convicted serial con woman, serial killer, yes, and con woman. I guess she conned and then she killed, allegedly. And what this woman who conned and killed is said to allegedly have done is that she was like a high class madam, or working sex worker, and she would woo um, men into her life and wine and dine them, or be wined and dined by them. She would cook them delicious food, and then she allegedly murdered them. And I say alleged because I don't really know. I have to finish the book to see what happens. And so we have our protagonist of the book, Rika, who is a journalist, and she is young and she's ambitious. And she is also like struggling to do and be all the things that she's supposed to do and be for her parents and for her best friend and for her boyfriend, and just to kind of situate herself. And she's torn between like being a modern woman and being a traditional woman, and her best friend is choosing a more traditional path by getting married and not working and trying to raise a family. And it's a lot of like conversation around like what should women do and be, and what are the pros and cons of each of those choices. And the fact that both choices seem pretty limiting, of being this modern woman and being this traditional woman, and can you have it all, or should you want nothing of it? I think all of these themes are deliciously brought up in this book in such clever and gentle ways, where it's not like screaming it at your face, which I really appreciate. And she ends up gaining interview access with this serial killer, and in jail. And the only way that she's able to win favor to meet with her, because the woman has not granted any interviews, is to talk to her about food. And she starts learning a lot about food, but having conversations through food into bigger conversations that they get to have. And I just am really enjoying, I think it's such a unique and fresh approach. And again, I get so daggone hungry, y'all, when I'm reading this. And I read it in times where I don't have any food around me. There is this one description, and I have to tell you this because, as I said, I lived in South Korea, and it just brought back like everything, like the taste of Korea. And so, Rika, because she's this working girl, she's never really turned on her stove. She doesn't know how to cook. She eats takeout fast food a lot. And so, the first kind of task that she is given in order to like gain access to meet with this woman is she tells her how to make a perfectly steamed bowl of white rice. And then she's like, drop some soy sauce on the rice when it's hot, and then put a pat of butter, and not just any butter. It has to be like real butter, and real expensive worthy butter. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because I know what that tastes like. I know what that tastes like. And my mouth started watering. And the other thing that's interesting in this is that during this time, there's a butter shortage in Korea. There's a butter shortage. And so just the appreciation for having quality butter and quality ingredients and learning about it becomes something that is takes up importance in Rika's world, and she never thought about it or didn't appreciate it because she's not a cook. And I also think that there are ways in which has grown to kind of reject that version of womanhood. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to be in this traditional kind of box. I want something different. And we see her struggling with her own thoughts. So I am really looking forward to reading this book and coming back and kind of sharing my final thoughts with you on it. But so far, I love it. I love the writing. I love the creativity, and I also really love the descriptions of the food. So, butter. The Another book that I was planning to finish in the month of February is Run by Ann Patchett, and I yeah, I don't even know, like, because I lost my place in the book, so I probably will start over with this. I remember it being a fairly fast paced read, and it is about a family whose mother has died. There's sons. There's a husband. He is very prominent. He used to be I think, the sheriff of the town, or no, he used to be the mayor of this town. And he really wanted his sons to grow up and kind of follow his footsteps. And two of the sons are adopted. And it starts out on a wintry, stormy night. There is an accident, and the accident sets off this mystery in the family, and uncovering what happened in the past that's impacting the family in the present. This was I think it was my second Ann Patchett. No, this is my first Ann Patchett novel. I did read a series of essays from her, and I just really liked her writing style. And so I decided to get this book, and so I'm excited. I'm really excited to continue to read it. I do remember that it was fast paced, and also just brought up a lot of issues of family and who's on the inside and who's on the outside, and like the way in which family works through their conflicts and how oftentimes families don't. And so, kind of like those ugly little weedy, monstrous, thorny things that can grow without being noticed until one day it's just hard to notice them and the impact is so there. And so yeah, so I don't want to give too much away about the family because I don't want to. If you are interested in reading this, if you're an Ann Patchett fan, if you're not, check her work out. It's really great. And what I love about it is that I love, again, the language and the characterization that she has. It's a very character forward story, and so I do like that and appreciate that. So Ann Patchett run. I'm gonna run and finish this. Not right now, because I'm gonna get through the rest of these books. Okay. The next book I was supposed to read, I didn't start at all. I did not open a page of this book. I Nothing. I think nothing was in here at all. And this is How to Do the Work, Recognize Your Patterns, Heal from Your Past, and Create Yourself by Nicole, LePera. And this is a book that my husband read maybe like a year ago. I think like he has his notes all in here, so I just decided to use his copy. And he really, really thought it was significant, got a lot of good stuff out of it. And I remember our conversations that he would have, that he would bring up just from points and things that he learned and awarenesses that he had about himself by reading this book. So I thought it would be great for me to read it as well. I always like to kind of have a nonfiction in my life. And so I was like, it's here, it's on the shelf. I'm going to read it. And then I also am looking forward to having even deeper conversations with my husband because we will have both read it. So this is one that I'm going to read. I'm going to read, and I will let you know like how it resonated for me and what I thought about it and if it impacted me in significant ways. So how to do the work. I'm going to do the work of reading this book, of cracking the page open and reading this book. So, yes. Okay, so the next 4 books, 4 novels, so excited, are my March reads, the ones that were just intended for March. And we're going to start with An Unkindness of Ghost. And this is by River Solomon. I've heard a lot about River Solomon, but I've never read any of their work. And this is a book club pick for my book club, Black to the Future book club. So yay, you guys. And so I was like, okay, I'm here for it. If you all don't know, I'm trying to expand myself this year and read books that I normally would not read, genres that I just don't like even go down the aisle or via the physical aisle or the virtual aisle. And definitely sci-fi, fantasy, horror. Those are all genres that Chantel just doesn't even pay attention to. So in order to like help me do that and stretch and grow myself, I decided to join a book club that was just dedicated to those genres. And this is, I think, our third book. I think it's our third book. Yeah, this is our third book. And it is different, you guys. So this is definitely sci-fi. We are on a ship called the Matilda, and it is a huge ship. I told my husband who this is his genre. I feel like I need to draw it so I can get a map of what's going on. But um, we have our protagonist Aster, and she lives on the lower deck. So think about the ship as like in the antebellum South, and the lower decks are where the field hands are, and they're not, I don't think they're referred to as slaves, but field hands are. And so you definitely see the class levels and the differences between the different decks. And Aster is this very unique character that doesn't kind of fit within the box. She's super, super smart. She is a naturalist. She's a healer, and a naturalist. But she's also like bold and feisty and just doesn't take no for an answer. And she has this rebellious streak in her that she is discovering or discovers, like where it comes from and how to use it and employ it. And she is begins to question all of the kind of like rules and things that have been told to the people. She begins to question, like, is it real? Is it is it true? And I think her questioning leads to potential revolt. So I started reading this book, and because March has already started, this video is a little late. And the other day, I just had a block of time to read, and I really kind of got into it. It took me a while, you guys. I would say to my husband, I feel like I'm only understanding like 40% of what I'm reading because I'm not a sci-fi reader. So I kind of feel like, out of sorts in this genre. And he was just like, that's okay. You'll get it. Like, keep reading. And so I was really appreciative of the encouragement. And it did happen. Like, things are kind of like making more sense. But I really kind of was taken aback by just the physical world was hard for me to grab, like it was hard for me to understand. So, but I am enjoying the story. I am enjoying the story, and I'm happy that I was almost like, I take it as this is your assigned reading, and I'm glad that I was assigned it. I never would have picked up this book, and so I'm happy to finish it and come back and talk more about it in a full way once I finish it. But here we go. An Unkindness of Ghosts. There we go. An Unkindness of Ghosts. And I love the cover. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, the next book on my list, as my books topple to the floor, my pal, is called The Flea Palace. And this is by Elif Shafak. And you guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what this book is about. And I guess I should have read it before I came on the video, but that didn't happen. This book was given to me. I actually won this book. I love winning things. I love winning things because I never really win things. And so I won this book at my book club. I'm in part of two book clubs, physical book clubs where we meet in person. And I won this book and I was like so happy. It was like, yes. So I was like, well, of course I have to read this book in March because it's my birthday month and it felt like a gift. And so this one, let me see what it says. It says Bonbon Palace was once a stately apartment block in Istanbul. Now it is sadly dilapidated home to 10 wildly different individuals and their families. There is womanizing, hard drinking academic with a penchant for philosophy, a clean freak and her lice-ridden daughter, a lapsed Jew in search of true love, and a charmingly naive mistress whose shadowy past lurks in the building. When the garbage at Bonbon Place is stolen, a mysterious sequence of events unfold that results in a soul-searching quest for truth. Wow, this sounds interesting, right? We're going to be in Istanbul. It sounds really interesting. I'm loving this description already. And it says it's picturesque charm with a touch of magic realism. So that sounds just like really good. I think my battery's about to run out. So I'm going to plug up. Hold on. Let's see. We don't want the battery to die on us. There we go. Are we back? We're back. We're back. Okay. So the Flea Palace, again, I will let you guys know how I like it, but I'm excited for this one because, again, it's a gift. It's my March gift. Okay, the next book is The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. It's a New York Times bestseller by V.E.Schwab, and this book, my daughter read, and she was like, Mom, you'll really like this book, and because I'm trying to like grow myself in my different genres, she was like, read this book. So I'm going to scooch my camera over just a little bit there. Okay, so we're good. Um, so this is set in France in 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. It will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name, and suddenly everything changes again. So I have not started this at all. I do like the cover though. I think it's really clever. And yeah, but and I do also. I'm one. I don't know if you guys are one, but I like how a book looks and feel really does impact me. I will touch like the cover. This cover has such a, I don't know, it's almost like it's not velvety because it is a book. So I don't, it's it's a really good color cover. Is it matte? I don't know what it is. And I do like wide open pages where the words are not so small. I really struggle if the word, if sometimes I will look at a book and if the layout is wrong, I can't even. And if it's something I really want to read, I'll try and see if there are other editions of it, but it really does matter. So I am liking this book and how it is laid out. And my daughter is the same way. So I know she was liking the feel of this book too. So I will let you know how this goes. I don't know if it's historical fiction, sci-fi, or what it is. I don't know, but we will. I'll be back and I'll talk about this book when I'm finished, when I can actually have things to say about it. Okay, last but not least, this one came in last night, and I'm so. Oh, and I started reading it as soon as it came in. This is Dream Count. It is a novel, and it is by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I love her. I met her through her TED Talk, The Dangers of a Single Story. That's this author. So I'm so excited to be reading a novel. And I also was really afraid. I must admit to you guys, I was afraid that I would read this and I would not like it. And then it would just, I don't know, kind of do something to how I feel about her. I don't know. Oh, that is not the case. That is not the case. This is so good. This is so good. As I said, I started it last night, like late last night, and I literally woke up this morning a little early and started reading it again. And then I had to tell myself, okay, at this time you have to stop reading. You know, when you have to like give yourself boundaries with a book, you know it's a good book. And I just love how she writes. I'm loving like the dialect, the cadence of writing that she does, and just how she just tells the story, how she absorbs the world, and just the characters that she crafts. There's just so much. There's so much. There's so much. But basically, the main character of this book is Chimaka, and she's a Nigerian travel writer living in America. And she's alone in the midst of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. And she recalls past lovers and grapples with her choices of regrets. And along with her, she has her best friend, Zakora, and a cousin and her housekeeper. And really, you have these, yeah, four women, their lives. We get to learn the story of these women's lives and their friendship, and it's all kind of enveloped in or situated in the pandemic. And I think what I'm really appreciating as I started to read this was, even though this is a fictional story, and even though there's so much difference between even the author and I, and definitely her characters as far as what she experienced and what they are experiencing in the novel with the pandemic. There's so much. There's something about reading it and reading it in a fictional story that is helping me heal in places that I didn't even know, like, oh gosh, yeah, that I felt that, you know, I carried that. Yeah, I remember like walking the floors at night and just worrying about my own mother and about my husband who's asthmatic. and just my kids and just this whole thing. And it really was like, wow, this traumatic event that we all lived through, and it impacted us differently, but it had an impact. And it's been so interesting on so many levels to read a novel that is situated in that, and with the way that she's bringing the story together. And so, yes, I am also excited because it's my birthday month. And guess what, you guys? I am going to be going to see her talk about this book next week. Um, so my goal is to have it finished by the time that I get to see her talk. And my big sister and I are going. Her birthday's also March too, so we were like, what better way for us to celebrate our birthdays together than by spending some time and with Adichie and talking about Dream Count. And I just cannot wait to be in her presence. So this is like the icing on the cake. I think it is like the cake and the icing and the candle for me. I'm so excited for it. And if you have not yet gotten it, it just came out, so it hasn't been out long. Go get your copy of it. It is really good. I actually am gonna be. This is one where as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, this needs to have it. This friend needs to have it. This is a book that is going to be gifted to people because it is just that good. It's just that good, and it's a woman's book, if you know what I mean. So good. All right, you guys, I think I've talked enough. Let me know what you guys are reading in March. Let me know if you have read any of these or if they were on your list too. I want to know. And as always, you guys, please like and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the like, because it helps this family to grow. And share it with your book loving friends. Let them know. Let's build community and family together around the thing we love, which is reading. And it's really cool to read. So until I see you next time, for those who are in my birthday month, happy birthday to you, March babies. Celebrate yourselves well this month and in lots of different and big ways. And until next time, please always be reading. Bye.